I think this is what's really cool about crypto. This is kind of one of the pros. You can truly indefinitely say I own, and it's on the blockchain, it's verifiable. Yo, what's good, guys? Dardan Bella. We're about to have our first episode of Art Quant Crypto. So just in case you guys don't know, I'm right here with a special guest, and not just a special guest. We're going to be doing this together, me and my boy Mike. So again, Art Quant Crypto. So let's actually just kind of get into the beginning of why we even decided to do this. But before we kind of get into that, we should delve more into kind of our background, our experiences. So, like, Mike, could you kind of give me like your experience with crypto? Like, what made you decide to say, "Hey, I'm gonna start a channel, and that channel is gonna be revolved around cryptocurrency"?
What's up, guys? What's up, Dardan? It's good to be here with you. It's first of all, I wouldn't even take it like one step back and tell that it's like our first episode tonight,
Oh
first
yeah.
episode in our new great podcasting room, which we just created from scratch. Thanks to you guys, thanks to you, Dardan, with coming up and helping out with that idea. With you're just recalling that emotional thing that we did like
Yeah.
around Christmas or like couple of weeks
Oh my
before
God.
Christmas.
We impulsively bought so much stuff, guys. I have no idea. It was like 2 a.m. I look at Mike. He's like, yo, fuck it. Let's buy it. We just spent racks on that shit, bro. Like, shit was crazy.
And we just converted my office basically in 1 month into the full-blown podcasting studio, thanks to Saver, who is in the back end helping here to
Motion.
produce it. Thanks to Saver from Motion for helping to set it up. And basically, in a matter of 1 month, we have a full-blown podcasting studio. We started in that Crypto Quant podcast. We're going to work on several more projects. Dardon will talk a bit more about 1331 in a bit. A great project related to music and recording and entertainment industry marketing. We'll probably give a word to Save at some point to talk about motion as well. Also a great marketing related company which been like conquering the Miami market recently. Great partners for us as well. Relating to your question, I'll even take a step back here as well. How I got into crypto recently, how I got like, cause I'm not one of those people who've been in crypto for like several bull runs or like a decade. I'm not
Yeah.
the one who is like early adopters or
Yeah,
anything.
because you came from traditional banking, and I know when it comes to traditional banking, they're usually a little bit more reserved, conservative, not as risky. Because I know in the conservative banking side of things, traditionally, 10 to 20% yield on your return is considered insane. It's like that's a very great year. Whereas, like if you're looking just like regular S&P 500, or if you're looking at putting things inside of just like traditional, basically investment methods, it's usually about 5 to 10%, and people are happy. So I know when you had first gotten presented crypto, like how long ago was it when you first got presented crypto, and what was your thoughts of it then, and how did it change into what you're thinking now? Because you're very pro crypto as of today.
I mean, you got it exactly right. Like that's why I love you, and that's why I decided to choose you as a host because you like, you basically get it straight to the point. Like the what frightened everyone out from the classical conservative side of you is the luxurious returns because such luxurious returns are usually associated with high level of risk or scam.
Yeah.
So that's why I was doubting it for a long time and probably much longer than you. You were probably like much earlier adopter when you were first invested in
Oh
crypto.
man, okay. So I got really heavily inside of crypto around 2018.
Or way
And
earlier than me,
yeah,
way earlier.
and I got introduced by my brother, and my brother was at George Mason University, and they were one of the first few universities to accept blockchain, basically courses. There was nowhere else you could go to learn about blockchain, and my brother was telling me about this thing called Bitcoin, and I was like, "How does it work? What exactly is this idea? What is?" And then I'm learning about these different main nets of like proof of work versus proof of stake, all this other stuff. So that was kind of my first, I guess you would say, introduction into crypto was 2018 through my brother. And then 2019, I got really, really deep into the blockchain and Web3 space, which then furthered my understanding of crypto. And it's just phenomenal to see how much acceptance we've had since, that was less than 10 years ago, and just at that time, you weren't seeing all this crazy hype that's going on right now.
I got into crypto in 2022, in February of 2022, when the war started in Russia and Ukraine, and I needed to get some money out of the country, and there was no other ways. When they blocked all the
Hmm.
basically classical banking transfers, I realized what's the use case. One other thing which is important about instrument, about any investment instrument, that like what's the use case, like what do you
Of
use it
course.
for? Like gold you use for basically to preserve capital, like the long-term capital preservation instrument. Real estate you use for capital preservation. S&P 500, or Nasdaq, it's indexes. They're created of numerous stocks,
Oh, yeah.
or particular stocks, or bonds. They all create value. It could be oil, it could be gas, it could be high tech, Apple, Tesla, but there is value behind it. And with Bitcoin, it looked like, I mean, crypto in general, I'm not even talking about. But even Bitcoin back in 2018, I'm not even talking about 2013 or 2011 or 2010 when the first people started
Yeah.
approaching us as a classical bankers. There we were just throwing them out of the office and like weren't even talking to them. But like even in 18, there was still no understanding of what's the actual use case. There was no Salvador who adopted it as a store of value,
Yeah.
as a like part of their financial system. Um, there was no transactions run on it. There was like the volumes were minimum. Like it was still a very like yes, it already had some background, but it was really hard to
Yeah.
comprehend and evaluate. It took real time, and I think somewhere around the last bull run, somewhere
Yeah.
around 2020, 2021, that's where the shift started to happen. To actually things started to move forward into the direction where the people started talking about it, crypto as a new gold, as a preservation of capital. And for me, as coming from the finance and economics background, because I wasn't just a bank and just a classical bank. I was also always more on investment banking side, more on economical side,
Yeah.
more on real estate development side, more on larger project financing side. For me, it was very important to see that anti-inflationary things that crypto brought, like to be that actual new gold, to be
Of
that
course.
like that thing that you could like gold you cannot take with you anywhere. Real estate you can't take with you anywhere. With crypto, you don't even need to take anything. You
You know
just
what
take.
else is super interesting about that point that you brought up? There is not really a single asset class that you can truly own. And what I mean by that is what happens after you pay off your mortgage? Do you truly actually 100% own that asset? No, you still have things that you have to pay on.
I mean, we
Uh,
all have the Russian experience where you don't
yeah.
owe shit anymore.
Basically. So I think this is what's really cool about crypto. This is kind of one of the pros that a lot of people I think goes over their head. This is one of the only asset classes that you can truly indefinitely say I own. And it's on the blockchain, it's verifiable, it's transparent, you're able to see. And it's something that you can just carry with you. Outside of that, to talk on your point, even our editors for this podcast, like we have editors from Argentina, and it's a lot easier for them to get paid in Bitcoin than it is for us to try to do things like Cash App, Zelle. Certain countries don't even accept these payment methods, which is one of these solutions of crypto, which is super great. Where it's you can have a fast transaction, you can do it simultaneously within a couple minutes, and it goes straight across. It's amazing.
That's amazing point right now because I was recently doing some wires from like European jurisdiction to United States. It took 3 weeks to run a wire
Golly.
transaction. There, I mean, they were asking so many questions, so many like. clarifications. And on average, it right now takes to 5 to 7 days. Like at 3 to 7 days, it might take. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. Like 2 years ago, that was normal life to me. Now, when I'm so used to crypto, and it's like on
5 days sounds like
on
forever.
USDT, on like
Like why?
on Tron, like you could have it in a matter of minutes. Like you could transfer
It's ridiculous.
thousands to billions of dollars in a matter of seconds without having one person involved.
There is not a single asset class that you can put in a side by side comparison between crypto or anything, rather it's real estate, rather it's gold, rather it's anything that I could say I invested $1 in and then it turned to 100,000. And I'm referencing Bitcoin. If you were to buy Bitcoin at conception under $1, you could have bought multiple Bitcoin actually at that point. So it's just like there's not a single asset class that you can show that's outperforming. But then
I
it's
mean,
kind of
I
a
will
double
cut
sided
you a
sword
bit. I
too.
would say you're right on one hand. On the other hand, be careful when you like make those big generalizations because there are other asset classes like high tech. Like there are Nvidia, for example, which made more return than Bitcoin made last year, even though Bitcoin grew tremendously. But Nvidia still made more. I think like it was like the highest growing asset class in 2024 with like at least like 500%, while Bitcoin was 250.
As we continue to have more and more bullish bull run cycles come into play, I think we're going to start seeing diminishes later on once we start to have not necessarily a plateau, but for that very reason, what you said, eventually Bitcoin's going to be worth 1 million, and then what? It's like you really got to have quite a bit of funds at that point before you could even own one, and then it's like, what are you doing with 1/1000th of a fraction of a Bitcoin? We know right now under Donald Trump's presidency that this has been, if not the most bullish presidency that we're going to see in cryptocurrency that the U.S. has ever seen so far. And it's already been said that the U.S. is wanting to take the lead on basically adopting cryptocurrency, seeing for what it is, and it even leads on to, acceptance. We're starting to see a lot more acceptance. Great example would be little shy of 2.5 years ago, we have videos of Donald Trump saying that he thinks crypto is a scam. Fast forward, he now starting to adopt cryptocurrency, understand it a little bit more, see the value, and not even just see the value. He even ended up going as far as making his own meme coin. Donald Trump, I think, in his entirety, his whole business career, I believe, was like what, like $3 to $6 billion worth, and now he's
Depending
worth,
on different
yeah,
evaluations.
and then now he's worth like what, like 60 million, 70
60 to
million, something
70.
like that, all within
80 years,
24
80
hours.
years, and it's opened at free. It shows that it's opened at free, went to 27. We're looking at an hour
That is
graph, and that
so
was at
ridiculous.
1.5. At the minimum, it was at 1.5. There was a gap for some reason. I think that's probably when, like, I mean, we could research it further for the next one, but that's probably when he posted on his Twitter. That's probably when the post on his Twitter came up, and it went right to 20. And that's when most exchanges got involved, and that's when everyone confirmed. Because, like, basically, if you look at it, that was 4 in the morning on
Yeah,
Friday night. This was like, I mean, everything that Trump does, like, I mean, that's a great example that stupid people just don't make it that far. Like, everything that he does is, and the team does, his family, the people that involved, is genius. They issued the coin at 7 o'clock at night or like 10 o'clock at night on Friday before the long weekend. I was snowboarding in Park City since Thursday. I was on a long weekend since Thursday night. All the bankers, all the investment houses, I mean, everyone was out. Like everyone was out, well out into the weekend. There was no liquidity in the market. There was like they really like usually those things have been pumped and like been rumored around, and professional community knows, and like there is funds allocated and there is preparation. They kept it top secret. It
It's
was a
ridiculous.
genius play. Like, I mean, just like ridiculously genius. No liquidity,
Insane too.
and all the chat starts confirming, and it just pumped. It just pumped from 20 to 80 in a matter of seconds. $70 billion. Like the whole crypto
What
market.
is that in a percentage return? Let's say somebody like one of our viewers, they ended up coming in at $0. They went all the
I
way up.
mean, okay, let's say like it was at free. Whatever we
Yeah,
see
let's
here
just
is
say
free.
$3. Let's see how much
3 to
percent.
84.
Yeah, that's like 3,000%.
If we look here, that's the total market cap for all crypto.
That is
So we're
ridiculous.
in, let's say, like 3.5 trillion market cap right now. In a matter of couple hours, 70 billion out of 3 trillion liquidity was sucked in into just one meme coin issued by Trump.
That is
On the
ridiculous.
weekend when everyone was off, when everyone was already chilling, there was no
See,
investment
that's
committees able to make any decisions, because at the end of the day, okay, it's not that serious as in a classical bank, but again, crypto right now is way more mature. There is serious investors. It's like it's not only retail money participating in the industry.
no, 1,000%. That actually leads us into the next thing too about new money that's coming in and new things that are popping up, such as the Federal Reserve looking into Bitcoin.
One of the value that I plan to bring to the community, to our community, and to the crypto community in general, I plan to be like kind of a borderman. Like I'm planning to be that older person who is kind of like slowing down and putting the brakes on. Like bring more classical risk management. Like I'm not going to promise that we're going to 100x or 1000x or even 10x anything, because there is bunch of channels like that. There is
Of
like
course.
a bunch of channels where you could go take a risk. I personally tried a bunch of them. I have enough experience and uh, PhD in statistics background to check and test all that before investing real money. And that's what I do basically. I test different strategies, I test different approaches, and if I knew there is a good channel, I will be referring on here a lot to the different sources that I use. Um, but I'm not going to give that crazy promises, because if I
Thousand
knew there
percent.
is such source and I knew there is a way to do it, such returns without taking enormous risk, I would probably not be here. I would have been just probably using those resources and like would have had all my goals achieved. So in order to achieve such great returns, you need to take enormous risks, enormous type of risk. And one thing that um, makes crypto very different, and what I already learned to myself in the last downturn, in the last bear market, when everyone was shitting on crypto, when Luna UST was going
Of
belly
course.
up, when FTX went belly up, when Celsius went belly up. I've been already through all that stuff, and I believe this is extremely valuable experience, because when I started, I went all in, and I
Yeah.
thought that I kind of expected, oh, there is a $15 billion corporation. Oh, there is a bunch of investors. They obviously did the due diligence. They obviously did the valuation.
In my parents' time, your parents' time, and just basically just think of people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. The general way and view of life was, basically go to school, maybe either learn a trade, go to college, save up enough, hopefully be able to retire by the time you're in your 50s or 60s. That was kind of like streamline what it was kind of look like for the per se American dream. Right investment, 5, 10 grand could turn to 1 million, and it's insane. But I do agree with you about the type of viewer and person and audience that this channel is gonna help out the most is the individual that, yes, if you want to try taking risk, by all means, do your due diligence, check it out. We're not gonna guarantee that you're gonna make 100x, 1,000x, or whatever, but we can um, strongly, confidently say that we feel confident that we can at least outperform the S&P 500 based off of how just crypto performs on a year-to-year basis with the right strategies.
We aim for the 50% return, like what we're going to show here and we're going to implement on our own accounts. We will be aiming for 50% return, hoping for 100.
Oh, Mike, you
Those
should let them know. Now, this is what's really cool, guys. There's a lot of people that they'll showcase strategy, but they'll either just kind of just show blank screens. We're actually testing a legitimate, real account where you're getting to see exactly what's getting done. So it's like this right here is nothing says you have more skin in the game than quite literally having skin in the game.
What is our Quant crypto? The name of the project, it's a completely new project which we just started this year in 2025. We believe it's a great timing to launch it, as Dardan mentioned already, and we discussed it in the first half of the broadcast. It's a great timing. Obviously, Trump is there, and with his first steps, he's opening his cards. That's his strategy for the next 4 years. Not China, not Russia, not immigration. That will all come. Like he's the president of the United States, and he will have to deal with all that shit, with 120 conflicts which are going around the world all the time. But his main agenda and main concentration, not the green policy, but what? Crypto.
You guys that are watching and don't know, Mikhail, he's got his master's in quite literally this. Do you want to fill them in kind of more of like where you studied, that sort of thing too, so they can have an understanding?
Yes, just like a bit on my background, I around like 23 years ago now, in 2003, I graduated from Bentley College in Boston with a major in finance and accounting. So I was basically trained to go trade uh, trade the market, like to go on Wall Street.
Now we're transitioning from 2021, 2022, when blockchain was really big. Web 3 was starting to get everywhere. You couldn't walk around Miami and not see a Web 3 blockchain based event. I'm pretty sure you probably saw many of these around
And
that
we
time.
participated in all of
Yeah,
them.
all of them. So, you know, um,
Actively.
yeah. So now we're going
Including
into
after
this.
parties.
Oh yeah. But we're coming into this new thing now with AI. And I know you and I are very bullish on AI agents and what that kind of looks like for the future. And
That's where my
it's
PhD in
interesting.
statistics and master degree in AI comes in. That's just amazing intersection. Sometimes I just get lucky in life. I wasn't planning to go, and all of a sudden that opportunity opened. I was like, why don't I study AI? I need it for trading. I need to automate my stuff. And the year I started studying AI, it was when ChatGPT popped out, and
It is
where
insane.
that new wave just started. And like, we'll stop on it a bit, but basically, what I spent my last 4 years, like, I do have what I believe a pretty deep experience, of like around 20 years in project wealth risk management across various sectors and jurisdictions. And I always like to emphasize risk management. Over the past 4 years, I got very deeply back involved into that direction.
Yeah.
And I was starting not with crypto again. In 2020, when I moved back to United States, I was tired of real estate, and I wanted to basically go back to my roots. And the roots were finance, quantitative, data science, and I started working with different people, testing out. I had pretty good connections in the industry. I was basically testing out, professionally testing out everything which is available.
Yeah.
All the technical indicators, all the automations, anything which is available to public and which says that you could make 100,000 and millions of percent with it. I tested it. I started to develop my own indicators, and I've been working on it for the past couple of years. And basically, that's what we're going to be sharing. Like, we're going to be sharing different trade and investment strategies that we back tested. We're going to be very open because that's the first thing that I'll always ask. We're going to be very
Of
open on the
course.
data, on how the strategy works. There will be no black boxes. Some of the modern AI and ML based strategies they work like black boxes, but at this stage, I'm not saying we're always going to be staying away from it,
Yeah.
but at this stage we're pretty open box. Like we could explain, like there are different ways you could trade the market. I prefer to trade the market. I prefer to know what my strategy is doing. I know that some modern AI and ML could do it without, like, could do it on the black box level and be pretty successful without me understanding what it's doing. None of it is a financial advice. We're not certified financial advisors with all the
Yep.
experience and practice and different backgrounds and unique views and experiences we have it into that world. We're not certified or qualified to provide any professional financial advice, and moreover, we don't want to do that.
And that's kind of what this whole channel is about. It's about helping that knowledge gap, letting people understand what exactly the benefits of crypto are. Now, with that said, take everything with a grain of salt. Always do your own due diligence. Make sure to study up on things. And Mike hit it right on the head. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. This is quite literally educational talks.
Tools, we give you
And
tools. We
tools.
give you the tools that we use. We give you the tools that prove efficient to us. We give you the tools that we not our tools. Like for example, the 2024, I discovered Laxalga. Like Dardan, you have to work with them on getting the promo code for
Hmm.
our community because this is a great software. I'm not going to redevelop something which is already exists.
Of
It
course.
completely satisfies many of my needs. I know how to improve on it, but I'm not going to rewrite something that's already exists. That's why I started from not developing my own stuff, even though I had a lot of ideas. Our goal is basically for you to be able to get exposure to crypto with 15 minutes to half an hour a day. All that, like our average content will be 15 minutes, 15, 20, 25
Yep.
minutes, depending on the day, depending on the news load, depending on the number of trades the robots are making, depending of like some of them will be none. Some dead days are dead. That's part of the thing. The market is trending only 10 to 15 to 20% of the time. 80% of the time market is consolidating, and in consolidation there is not too much to talk, and crypto is especially boring consolidation periods. We actually put our trades on based on daily and weekly graphs. We aim for swing trading. Automations, they aim for hourly graphs because that's how the automations are built, and they usually take fast entries and fast exits and just looking for the right patterns and points to make you stably 50% return a year without drawing down your account, or with like minimum drawdowns 3 to 5% at the most. Um, Investment is different. Investment, I wouldn't call it investment because investment is more long term in
Yeah.
classical terms. I call it swing trading. With the crypto, there are waves. We try to make positions, we try to build positions within like 3 to 6 to 9 months horizons. And it might be position up if the market is trending up and we believe the trend is bullish, or it might be down if the market is bearish. But it's not about making money here and now. Like, don't expect to pay your rent with that. Like, that's
Definitely
not the
not.
rent money.
See, that's the whole idea of even getting into investing is, anytime rather you're investing your time or your capital, it's the same thing in relation that if you want something to be successful, you can't expect it to happen right then and there. A good investment strategy, depending on if you're swing trading or even if you're more long term, is you have to be patient and knowing exactly when to come in, when to come out, and not to sell out of emotion.
because
which
you
is a
need
big
money
issue.
to pay rent.
Yep.
That's not how you work. Like you have to allocate your rent money, or mortgage money, or lease money, your food money, and then you have 10% left, 5% left, 50% left. That could go to investment, and then out of that, my suggestion: don't go all in. Like we don't, like none of us have a crystal ball. I'm a high believer. I don't put everything in crypto. I have real estate. I have stocks. If you're young, I mean, take the risk. You have a lot of time left. Like you will be able to fix it up, or you might retire when you're 40.